Hello, dear ones. I've come here today to honor the wisdom, the mystery, and the gifts of our tree sisters, and to show you how they connect us to the divine by creating an energy information highway between heaven and earth. To indigenous peoples throughout history, trees have been sacred beings who connect earth to the great spirit above. And they're the antennae of the earth, gathering the great wisdom of the cosmos for years upon years in their leaves, their trunks and branches, and storing it for us to access when one day we are ready to receive it. We are like little fish swimming in a huge sea of energy. Some of it is visible to us, but most of it is not. Energy is all around us, it's within us, and it fills outer space with endless potential. Everything in creation is energy. A tree, a stone, the cosmos, your thoughts and feelings, your hopes and dreams. The movement of energy creates the universe, which is always moving and always changing. Throughout history, the world tree was believed to be at the center of the world, a symbol of order and harmony. Sometimes it was a vertical axis tree, binding together heaven above and earth below. In the Bible, this was known as the tree of knowledge. At other times, it was a horizontal center of the earth, dividing three realms: the branches of the upper realm, the trunk of Middle Earth, and the roots of the lower world. And it was known as the tree of life. In Norse mythology, Yggdrasil was the name of the world tree. It represented the interconnectedness of all things, the cyclical nature of life and death, and the cycle of creation and renewal. The snake at its root represented the earth energies, and the birds in the branches are a symbol of ascension of the soul. But even more than a tree, Yggdrasil is a symbol representing the entire cosmos, consisting of three realms: Asgard, the realm of the gods; Midgard, the world of humans; and Hel, the realm of the dead. These worlds were not physical locations, but rather states of consciousness that shamans journey to during trance states to find human healing and wisdom. At Ragnarok, the end of the world, Yggdrasil withers and is consumed by chaos, marking the end of the old world. However, even in destruction, Yggdrasil lives on. A new world is born from its ashes, and Yggdrasil regrows once again, becoming the axis of the universe. How prophetic and wise are our ancient myths. We must marvel at our ancient ancestors' deep understanding of the universe and what was to come. Early mystics, called the Kabbalists, sought to achieve a deeper connection with the divine through contemplation and study. They believed the tree of life to be a representation of how the universe came into being, a map of creation. In this representation, Source, shown as the sun above, emanates a series of divine creations below, with the earth represented beneath as branches, a sort of upside-down tree. A symbol for the tree of life, in purple dots, fits perfectly into the circular flower of life. The flower of life is a map of sacred geometry on which all life is constructed. And so the world tree, the human form, and all life forms unfold into a great web of life. Similar to the tree of life is the Adam tree, which comes from an ancient mystical branch of Judaism. This compares the attributes of a tree to human traits. Its feet rest in the earthly kingdom, and the crown in eternal life or immortality. Within the body reside the attributes with which the human can create his journey of ascension. The flower of life is an ancient symbol for the structure of life. The oldest design is found at the Osirian temple in Abydos, Egypt. This temple may be well over 10,000 years old. Its existence indicates that the ancient civilizations had a fundamental understanding about the structure of the universe and the nature of energy. And that is something that we are just catching up on today. Another representation of energies is the energy body called the Merkaba, composed of two intersecting triangles, one pointing up and one pointing down. It is found in ancient esoteric spiritual traditions associated with spiritual ascension. In Jewish mysticism, it's referred to the throne or chariot of God. Derived from three Egyptian words, Mer for light, Ka for spirit, and Ba meaning body. The Merkaba is believed to be a divine vehicle, capable of transporting the individual into realms of higher consciousness and spiritual enlightenment. In its three-dimensional form, the Merkaba is a tetrahedron, composed of two intersecting energy pyramids. The upper is the masculine, pointing upward. The lower is the feminine, pointing downwards toward the earth. Notice also that the energies flow from the heart space towards the front, and from the root chakra to the rear. But the church had its very own different ideas about energy. The tree of knowledge appears in the Bible as the tree of good and evil, and eating of its fruits was said to be the cause of the fall of mankind. This created a twisted myth about humans as flawed beings in need of intervention by the church in order to achieve the kingdom of heaven. Soon this new idea took hold and transformed the power within into the power without, in the form of powerful kings who justified their rule over others through a perversion of the world tree. This is a stela of the Assyrian king Ashur-nasir-pal, paying homage to the tree of life. He's shown on both sides of the tree, gathering up its power and abundance. Behind him stand winged beings whose presence consecrates his right to rule. And above him rises a halo-like disk, further consecrating his power. Thus, the concept of the world tree, originally a symbol of human empowerment, was soon corrupted to justify power over others. On the sarcophagus lid of the Mayan Lord Pakal is a depiction of Lord Pakal in a birthing position, with the world tree growing out of his navel. Beneath him are the open jaws of a serpent, or the entrance to the underworld of the spirits. And above him is a bird, representing the world of the gods. So once again, a ruler draws from the tree of life his divinity and kingship. Perhaps the significance of the feathered serpent, a recurrent theme in Mayan art and hieroglyphics, is that it's a metaphor for the ascension of man from the lower world of the serpent to the upper world of the sacred bird along the tree of life. In Egyptian mythology, Isis, the mother goddess, is also the tree of life. Here, she rises from a tree to nurture the pharaoh and his spirit down below, the winged Ba, with food and water. We have seen that kings have used the tree to justify their divine right to rule over others over and over again throughout human history. Rulers tap into our subconscious understanding that the tree is indeed a conduit for the divine, and that it gives rulers the right to rule over others. In many fairy tales from many different cultures, an apple tree becomes the main character. Its golden apples are a metaphor for light or enlightenment. In the story, the golden apples are so precious that someone keeps stealing them. It turns out to be a peacock or a firebird, another symbol of enlightenment. The tale is a hero's journey in which the hero, a young prince, struggles with impossible challenges to solve the mystery of the apples and who is stealing them and why. Essentially, this mirrors the human struggle to understand the mystery of life. In the process of solving the mystery, the hero must find magical allies to help him solve the riddles he faces. Usually they are wise animals, mysterious princesses, or witches. In the end, the prince overcomes all his challenges, and he marries the princess, representing the union of our divine masculine with the divine feminine, and thus we inherit a kingdom. Fairy tales are vital stories handed down by our ancestors to pass on their most cherished wisdom to their descendants, especially to the children, imprinting important wisdom on their psyches. Today, there are still many groups that follow the old ways of living in peace and harmony with the earth and all her creatures. One of these is the Anastasians of Russia, followers of a shaman named Anastasia. They gather wisdom from the ancient ringing cedars that grow in the taiga forest. Here we are, amidst the old towering ringing cedars, who on becoming very old and completely filled with cosmic wisdom, begin ringing to announce that they are ready to be cut down and to share their wisdom with their human kinfolk. The Anastasians live a peaceful, simple life in small communities. The land and family are their guiding principles. Their needs are minimal, taking only what they need to survive, while doing no harm, stewarding the land so that all living creatures benefit. In a simple, joyful wedding ceremony, they show that they are not averse to also enjoying some aspects of modern life. Dancing and music reflect the joy of a simple peasant life. Here they come together to celebrate the creation of a new kinship homestead. In a kinship homestead, each family is granted 2 hectares of land to live on and to be stewards in perpetuity. This often consists of a home, a pond, a forest, and grazing land, all designed for living sustainably in harmony for the good of all. And this becomes their ancestral home. A pagan festival to celebrate the autumn equinox reflects the ethos of a community living in harmony with the land, the elements, the plants, and the animals. Their art and artifacts reveal their profound love of nature, of tradition, fairy tales, and family life. In some parts of the world where there may be few trees, a mountain is often the vehicle for connecting to the higher realms. Here, Mount Kailash in Tibet becomes the center of the world to the Hindus. In Australia, it is Ayers Rock that is the center of the world and reaches up to the upper realms. In ancient Greek times, connection with Mother Earth was symbolized by a navel stone, this one at the Oracle of Delphi. It is decorated with a net, the web of life, sometimes called Indra's net, which symbolizes the interconnectedness of all life. We have been speaking about energy and energy flow between the earth and the cosmos. The wave of energy flowing between them is called the electromagnetic spectrum. These energy waves are changing continuously between wave and particle at the very high speed of 22 billion times per second, vacillating between the seen and the unseen worlds. Our senses are highly focused and limited to 2 narrow bands of the spectrum, one of light and one of sound. The rest of the spectrum is also available to us, but it is hidden to our senses. And to access it, we need to cultivate our intuition with lots of practice. This diagram illustrates the exchange of energy between the Earth at the bottom and the center of our galaxy, a black hole at the top. Scientists have confirmed that a black hole is at the center of our galaxy. It is the engine that creates our galaxy. And an energy highway connects the Earth and the black hole, as indicated by the green line, which also represents the world tree. The 9 dimensions between Earth and galactic center are levels of consciousness located on this tree. Quantum physics tells us that it takes an observer and an observed to determine how energy behaves, whether it is a particle or a wave, and where it is located at any moment in time. Therein lies the principle of co-creation. And what that tells us is that energy and matter behave on the principle of creation. And this is why and how we become creators or co-creators. Quantum physics is finally helping us to understand that the tree of life is a metaphor for the nature of reality and of energy and how things behave, how energy moves, and ultimately the meaning of it all. This is an actual photo of our galaxy. It's like a big flat spinning plate with our planet located toward the outer edge of one arm. The black hole is an energy center shaped like a donut. This shape is called a torus. Everything in the universe emits energy in this pattern, from the smallest atom to a stone, a tree, a star, or the enormous black hole. The next time you look up at the night sky, find the Milky Way above your head. It's a trail of lights from horizon to horizon. In the middle of the trail of stars is a black streak. This is the black hole, visible to us from Earth. In this photo, notice a beam of light from an observatory at the lower right and directed to the black hole. This is a photo of a black hole. Black holes typically form when massive stars collapse at the end of their life cycle. After a black hole has formed, it can grow by absorbing masses from other stars and merging with other black holes. Every object in the universe emits an energy pattern called the torus and shaped like a donut. In humans, this is your aura. The heart is at the center of your aura. Its energy field extends about 10 feet on all sides and creates your personal space. The tree of life begins in the core center of Gaia. This is also the first dimension, the source of life. It's also the source of radiation that is released at the surface of our planet. It's concentrated in certain geological spots called ley lines. These places of concentrated energies were considered sacred sites in ancient times, and on these sites, people built their temples, and later their churches. Such places are the Vatican in Rome and Notre Dame in Paris. The second dimension is located in the crust and mantle of our planet, where the minerals and microbes live and work to create the biosphere that makes life possible on the surface. When we speak of feeling ungrounded, we're talking about the connection to the earth and its intense electromagnetic energy. This energy comes from the iron crystal at her core. This emits a very strong pull, especially on the iron in your own blood. So when you are feeling spacey and ungrounded, remember the iron in your own blood and feel how it vibrates with the iron core of the mother. Feel it pull you back into your own body. This collection of hexagonal basalt crystals in Ireland may give you an idea of what the iron crystals at the center of the earth look like. The honeycomb hexagon is the most stable, strong, and efficient design in nature, and it is used over and over again to create the structure of life. The hexagonal pattern on the back of turtles gives its shell great strength. Organic life is constructed on the hexagonal benzene carbon ring. A micrograph of a snowflake shows its basic hexagonal structure of snow. The six-sided hexagonal structure offers infinite possibilities of ever more complex life forms. Many of us don't often get to experience the presence of a very old tree, since in America we tend to consider trees a resource of raw materials rather than a source of spiritual wisdom. But when you're in the presence of an old tree, you get the sense that your timeline is only a tiny fraction of the grand scheme of things. And somehow that presence opens you up to the possibility of other new realms. So I share with you an elder tree I visited recently to give you an idea how it might feel to be in its presence and its wisdom, consciousness, and knowing. This old oak sprouted in the Czech Republic in 1470. A friend leans against the trunk, giving you a sense of its immense presence. By the look on her face, she obviously feels a sense of peace, support, and well-being, leaning against its massive trunk. And feeling the craggy bark against your hands and exchanging heart energy, you might dream you are leaning on a great wise mother. Looking up into her towering branches lifts your spirit too, and perhaps opens your own energy channel up toward the cosmos. Her wide canopy of enormous branches protects and holds you in her embrace, just like a giant mother. Following the trail of mushrooms growing from her roots helps you to understand her vast reach out into the fields all around her. She supports whole ecosystems. She's the grocery store of the forest. Her flowers and sap support an army of insects. Birds feed on the insects and nest in her branches. Many animals feed on her nuts and in turn provide food for predators. Her leaves protect creatures from the cold of winter and provide nutrients for the coming of the next season. She's a store of wealth and well-being. Like a good mother, she's at the center of her world. Even older than our oak are the redwoods of California, some sequoias being over 3,000 years old. Imagine this tree was a sapling 1,000 years before Christ was born. It has been witness to the rise and fall of civilizations and to the trials of human history. How many humans would it take to embrace this tree? Are we not more like ants in its presence? What can it teach us? And what can we give back in return? We have seen how the world tree represents the flow of energy and wisdom between the center of our Earth and the center of our galaxy. In your meditations with the tree, imagine the energy flowing in both directions, nurturing, informing, and empowering you. And like the tree, become a conduit to the cosmic earth energies that are freely given to those who are open to receive them. Bright blessings on your journey.